This is English shorthand dictation number 187 and the dictation speed is 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. Madam Chairperson, this is a momentous day for me to participate, discuss and debate on this bill which provides for identifying the beneficiary castes. The beneficiary castes should be identified by this amendment. There is no provision to have a ceiling. The ceiling has not been mentioned in this bill, but I thank all my friends who are on the other side and profoundly thank the ruling party for having brought this most important constitution amendment bill to develop the OBC communities. On behalf of my party, I profoundly thank my friends on the other side for bringing this most important piece of legislation which truly reflects the policies of the state autonomy. Our great leaders of social justice movement were instrumental in identifying the caste system, and through identifying the caste system, the reservation was given to the OBCs. That was identified 100 years ago, and the reservation has existed in our state for more than 100 years in history. This inspired Dr. Ambedkar to bring it into the constitution for upliftment of socially and educationally backward classes. This was a phenomenal thing which happened because of the consistent efforts made by our great leaders and the vociferous fight in the state of Tamil Nadu to uplift the OBC community. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru brought the first amendment to give reservation in jobs to the OBC community. He also declared this with regard to providing reservation to socially and educationally backward classes. Shri VP Singh declared 27% reservation in jobs in Government of India for the people belonging to the other backward classes. This was one of the most important occasions for Government of India. Owing to the relentless fight of our great leaders, the reservation policy was implemented and assumed a new height intended to develop these communities in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now this amendment is a good beginning, but at the same time the 50% ceiling on reservation for the OBCs should be removed. There should not be any cap with regard to OBC reservation. The Government of India should come forward to review and remove this cap on reservation for the OBCs. The Government of India 2 years ago promised that they will conduct a caste census, but so far no caste census has been undertaken by the government. Only through caste census can we have a proper data for the OBCs, and the people belonging to the OBC category could be developed in a proper way. But that has not been worked out by the Government of India. This aspect should be taken note of. They should make this happen. Sir, the long-pending demand of backward classes to take up special caste-based census must be seriously considered and implemented. The House is aware that the census process in the country is likely to be commenced within a few months. Our party feels that this is the appropriate time for the government to consider this demand of implementing the caste-based census. Several individuals and institutions, several former chairmen of national commissions for backward classes, and many eminent social scientists have expressed the need for this census for meaningful planning and development. The need of census is a fundamental essentiality for the meaningful planning and development of the OBC community. In terms of the principles of affirmative action enabled under the Constitution to improve the conditions of other backward classes, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, periodic measures have been taken. However, in the lawmaking bodies of the states, OBCs do not secure representation proportionate to their population. The representation of the citizens from socially and educationally backward classes in the elected bodies at the center and states remains disproportional to the total population. Only 18% and 20% of the total members elected were from the other backward classes in 2009 and 2014 Lok Sabha elections respectively, while the population of the other backward classes is estimated to be around 40 to 55% of the total population. So, another step in advancing the rights of the people belonging to the other backward classes is ensuring a proportionate representation to the people in the representative bodies, that is, the House of the People and the legislative assemblies of the states. I hope that the central government will look into these anomalies in each and every sector and do justice to the community. Sir, I appreciate the amendment of Article 342A of the Constitution. The state enjoys the power to take care of the qualitative and quantitative difference between different classes to take ameliorative measures. Our Constitution is an effective tool of social transformation and removal of inequalities. It intends to wipe off tears from every eye. The social realities cannot be ignored and overlooked while the Constitution aims at the comprehensive removal of disparities. The very purpose of providing reservation is to take care of disparities. There are unequals within the lists of the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the socially and educationally backward classes. The aspiration of equal treatment of the lower strata to whom the fruits of reservation have not effectively reached remains a dream. At the same time, various castes by and large remain where they were, and they remain unequals. Are they destined to carry their backwardness till eternity? The state's obligation is to undertake the emancipation of the deprived sections of the community and eradicate the inequalities. When reservation creates inequalities within the reserved castes itself, it is required to be taken care of by the state, making subclassification and adopting a distributive justice method so that state's largesse does not concentrate in few hands and equal justice to all is provided. It involves redistribution and reallocation of resources and opportunities and equitable access to all public and social goods to fulfill the very purpose of the constitutional mandate of equal justice to all. Providing a percentage of reservation within permissible limit is within the powers of the state legislatures. It cannot be deprived of its concomitant power to make reasonable classification within the scheduled tribes, scheduled castes, and the socially and educationally backward classes. The Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment is not here now. I would have been happy had he been present here. He has not placed the correct facts before this House. I have great respect for him. But I am sorry to point out that the then Government of India, headed by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri V.P. Singh, issued an office memorandum purporting to extend reservation for socially and educationally backward classes in service. The said memorandum itself created a hue and cry in the entire country. Many things happened after that. That memorandum was challenged in the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court stayed it initially. This was the famous case of Indra Sahni. Consequent to change in the government at the center following the general election in the first half of 1991, a constitution bench of the Supreme Court in the Indra Sahni case sought the clear stand of the new government on the issue. The new government, headed by the then Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narasimha Rao, came out with a government memorandum with certain modifications by introducing the economic criteria in grant of reservation by giving preference to the poorer sections of the socially and educationally backward classes with 2% quota and reserving another 10% of the vacancies in the civil services for economically backward classes. Now the economic criteria were to be specified separately. The Supreme Court struck down only clause 6 of that memorandum. It also laid down the principle in that judgment. The Honorable Minister was saying that the concept of creamy layer was brought by them. He is a very educated man. How can he say like that? The concept of creamy layer was first brought by the Honorable Supreme Court in Indra Sahni case. It was not there earlier, but the annual income limit for creamy layer was enhanced from time to time. That is a different matter. But the concept of creamy layer is not the property of any government. I must say that Indian democracy has developed over the years, and today India has become the number one democratic country due to two reasons. One is legislative functions which we perform in Parliament and state assemblies, and the other is judiciary. The final interpreter of the Constitution is the Supreme Court of India. It enhances the law, and on the basis of the enhancement of the law, democracy has grown in our country, and we must accept that. Honorable Chairman, sir, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on this bill. If you look at history, you may find that the Mandal Commission had proposed 27% of reservation. I am very proud to say that since the inception of Telugu Desam Party, after so many decades, we are still standing strong in the Lok Sabha, in the Rajya Sabha, or in our state assemblies, and that is all because of our commitment to the upliftment of the OBCs. The social, economic, or political political empowerment that the Telugu Desam Party has ensured through its various schemes or various policies implemented over the years has resulted in the betterment of so many communities across the two states, both in Andhra Pradesh and in Telangana today. Sir, this bill is a kind of requirement today. It was inevitable. We know that after the Supreme Court judgment, the center is compelled to bring this because the states have their own rights to recognize the underprivileged communities which need that kind of empowerment.